Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with Dave's Faves. And today I want to talk to you about Beethoven Symphony Number 2. Now, the Second Symphony is usually lumped together on disc with Symphony Number 1. The two of them are grouped together as Beethoven's early symphonic works. That's certainly true of Symphony Number 1. That's an early piece, a conservative piece, given what else Beethoven was doing at the same time. But number 2 is not. Number 2 is a big, serious symphony. In fact, had the Eroica not been written after the second might well be considered a far more revolutionary work than it is today, because Beethoven's imagination was just expanding faster than his pen. And so the second got overshadowed a bit by the third. But it really is almost, not quite, almost as important, I think, as the Eroica. I really believe that. It's a big, big symphony. I mean, remember that review in Nicholas Slonimsky's The Lexicon of Musical Invective about the Second Symphony? You know, it's a crass monster, a hideously wounded dragon with its tail erect, writhing horribly in the coda that just won't die, and it's an abominable, trashy piece of noise, and they go on and on. And you read this and you're thinking, Beethoven's Second Symphony? Really? But if you listen to it, if you can put the Eroica out of your head completely and just take it on its own terms, it's a remarkable and revolutionary piece. It has that huge introduction. It has extremes of tempo and color. It's extremely heavily scored for the wind section. Tovey actually said that it's hopelessly overscored for the wind section. I don't find that to be true. I really don't. But I can see his point. There's just everybody, all the winds are busy all the time. The orchestration is very dense. It has a gorgeous largo slow movement, just a big, expansive, beautiful, beautiful movement, and very lengthy. It's quite long. I mean, how long is it in this performance that I will reveal shortly? The Larghetto, actually. This is 9.5 minutes, but it could be quite a bit longer. In other performances, it goes up to 12, 13 minutes. It's a big, big, big movement. And then the scherzo is really scherzo-y. It's delightful and perky. And the finale is wacky. It is really wacky. And it does have a coda that just won't quit, which Beethoven was famous for, most famously in the Fifth Symphony, of course, the coda that just won't quit. But it really is marvelous. So here is the performance that I chose, the one that I love, that I listen to most frequently. It's Paavo Järvi with the Deutsche Kammerphilharmonie Bremen. And there are a bunch of reasons I chose this. You know, I'm not, as you know, a major fan of period instrument performances of things after the Baroque period. In the classical period, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, quite frankly. This is period style. You know, he tries to do the metronome markings. The tempi are really zippy. But this is not a period instrument group. And the Deutsche Kammerphilharmonie Bremen is one of the most virtuosic chamber orchestras anywhere. I mean, they can play anything. And if you're worried about Beethoven's metronome markings, worry not. I mean, these performances are so exciting. The coupling on this one actually is the Pastoral Symphony, which is rather nicely done as well. But it's this performance of the second, that just blows my mind. It is incredibly fast. As far as, you know, in relative terms, although, you know, it's not exactly a slow performance. It takes 20, 30, well, good 30 some odd minutes. And, you know, I mean, like I said, it's a big symphony. It's longer than the Fifth, for example, normally. I mean, that's how much the idea of the symphony had grown from one work to the next in Beethoven's ongoing development. So yeah, it's not minimized. It's not a pint-sized performance. It's just the opposite. It's an explosive performance. And the virtuosity of the playing is just astounding. And that's why I like it so much, because I think it gives the work that revolutionary character, that sense of unquenchable, exploding energy that just can't be stopped. Even the Largo, which is beautifully sung, it flows. There's this constant sense of forward movement, of excitement, of just barely suppressed exuberance that breaks out all over the place. It's breaking out like this. This is exuberance breaking out. Get it? So I think this is a knockout of a performance. I really do. And I recommend that all of you hear it, because you will be as thrilled by it as I will. It is a perfect marriage of amazing execution. I mean, technically amazing execution, with an interpretation that is absolutely right for the music, that gives it everything it's asking for, in my view. I think it's just marvelous. So that's my pick. That's my fave. Keep on listening, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care.